Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mindful Homestead. So we found a farmer local who grows, dries, grinds, mills, processes, bags his own hog feed. And he does it all locally. He's about 30 miles as the crow flies from our front door, which is something we've really been interested in finding and making happen since we started raising pigs 6 years ago. Finding someone like this is really kind of rare in New England because we don't have a lot of farmland to do row cropping. You know, you need corn, you need soybeans, you need wheat. To make viable animal feed, typically a lot of that's coming out of the Midwest. You don't see a lot of it grown here in New England. So we found somebody and we're really excited. Here's the thing though, the feed looks like this. It's what's called a mash. It's really kind of fine. You can see the corn, you can see the soybeans and everything in there. And how I've mostly fed our pigs in the past is I have simply dumped a pelleted feed on the ground that they're able to kind of pick up off the ground. And if it's a little bit wet, the pelleted feed will stay together long enough that they can get up off the ground and eat it and you don't have to worry about anything. With the new mash feed, if you dump that on the ground, it's going to almost instantaneously get mashed into the dirt and the pigs are not going to be able to pick it up and eat it. They'll eat as much dirt with it as they will feed. And if you're trying to grow pigs and they're eating a bunch of dirt, they're taking up space in their stomach that they really could be putting food in instead. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna build a new feeder for the pigs. I managed to pick up a bunk feeder from Tractor Supply, a 10-foot bunk feeder that's made for cattle, and it's got a plastic liner that is gonna work much better for feeding the wet mash. I'll put a picture up on the screen of what they look like when they're brand new, but as for now, I've got it broken up into the two pieces that you see here. I've got the plastic liner on that side. I've got the stand that the plastic liner here. Actually, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Oh, that hurt. All right, this is what the bunk feeder looks like, right kind of off the floor. Too high for pigs, especially the pigs that are at the age ours are at right now. I've already got it taken apart. I did that the other day. My original plan was to cut the legs right here and actually set this on the ground. But I had a couple concerns with that. My main concern being, one, I'd have no way to move it. Two, the pigs are gonna climb up into it. And this plastic liner, even though it's good for holding feed, you get a 250 pound, 300 pound pig climbing up into this with no support underneath, you're gonna run into issues. So I came up with a new plan. All right, excuse me, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I did set up the fan because it was hot in here and I needed to close these doors a little bit. Kept that open and that open just for airflow. Anyway, the plan is to take the plastic liner. I've got a piece of plywood over here, 3/4 ply that I was actually gonna use for bathroom subfloor that I ended up not needing. I'm going to build a frame out of 2x10, the ones you see laying behind me, and then I got one more outside. Essentially build a box, like a square frame, and then put the plywood, the 3/4 ply on the bottom, set that in there, and then I've got a plan for the piece of metal, the like metal frame that holds the bunk feeder up. I'm gonna mount that to the top of this frame to serve two purposes. One, as kind of a guard to keep the pigs from climbing into the feeder, which if I can hopefully prevent, I'm gonna try to. That's maybe easier said than done, but we're gonna try it. And then secondly, to give me something really quick and easy to throw the pallet forks on the tractor in and lift the feeder up. Because that's the hardest thing, is when you build something heavy that pigs can't move, you end up creating a situation where if you have to move it, it's a huge pain in the butt. So I'm hoping, if you can kind of envision this flipped over, I'm hoping that the piece that runs along the bottom there, I'll be able to just kind of slide the pallet forks in and pick the whole thing up with that. But we'll see how that part goes. At the very least, it'll hopefully keep the pigs out. First course of action though is I've got to take these 2x10s and I've got to essentially cut them so that I can make a box that's the same size as this. That says 10 feet long, but obviously it's not exactly 10 feet long. I'll measure that up and then we'll get outside and we'll cut those first. We are looking at 9'6". All right, I'm gonna open the garage door right as the sun comes out. All right, 9'6" is what we actually need. All right, and the other side, which I already measured, the ends in between the long pieces are gonna be 22 3/4 long. So I'll mark that now and cut those two pieces. All right. So what I'm doing here is pre-drilling my ends, because these are actually going to be, is that long enough? Yeah, pretty much. These are going to be going into the end grain of those other pieces I cut, the shorter pieces. So I just want to make sure they're not going to split, because being that they're pigs, I'm using some fairly large fasteners. You may remember these are 5/16 by 5 1/8 long GRKs. So once those go in, they will not be coming out easily. Because as we've discussed before, pigs destroy everything. Honestly, they'll probably find a way to destroy this too. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Not bad. It's like a sweat lodge in here. All right, let's throw the liner in and see how close we got. Uh-oh. I screwed it up. When I cut the sides, that ended up being 9'6". They weren't actually 9'6" because I measured the inside. And I forgot to account for 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches being taken off each end. So the liner doesn't fit. And even if it did, like I could kind of shoehorn it in there. The metal piece, when I flop it over on top, it's not gonna have anything to drill into on one side. I mean, I could maybe just pop it into the side rails. I don't know. I got to think about this for a second. I want to get it done today, but I'm not close enough to the lumber yard where I could go get more lumber. So I don't know, give me a sec, I'm gonna think. All right, I made my decision. I am going to put a hold on this. I could maybe make it work, but it would kind of be hack job together, and I don't want to do a hack job on this. I want this to actually be a piece of infrastructure that lasts for a long time on our farm. So I work tomorrow morning, but when I get out at 4, I will swing by the lumber yard on my way home, and we'll get 2 more 10-foot 2x10s to continue the project. All right, back with the new length. How long is this? Let me see, hang on. 9'10" and a half is what the length should have been. I had it at 9'6". So like 4.5 inches. However, now this should fit. This should fit in here though. Aha! Look at that. That fits like a glove. So now the plan is I'm going to take the sheet of 3/4 ply I got over there. I'm going to build a bottom for it, and to do that, honestly, I'm just going to lay this wood on the ply, trace it, and then cut it out. I've got some holes drilled in here in the metal part. My plan now is to take more of those big GRKs, these guys. You can see right here. And go through those holes into the wood and sandwich the plastic in between the metal and the wood, which I'm hoping maybe keeps the pigs out of this a little bit and gives me the ability to just pick it up with the forks on the tractor there. I don't think the pig's flipping that over, which is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go hop in the tractor and I'm gonna put a ton of wood chips down. This has a flat bottom to it, and while I'm able to pick it up with the tractor using this right here, or at least I'm hoping that's how it goes, I don't want it to get sucked down into mud. So I've got that entire pile of wood chips. I'm going to take it and I'm going to dump a bunch of it in a corner near the fence so that I can actually get in there with the tractor, drop this thing down, and potentially feed the pigs without having to climb in there. If I can set this down next to the fence, I can hopefully just kind of walk along and blah, 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 and 2 on the ends, and then you've got 10 feet of space in the middle. Hopefully that gives them enough space so that they're not fighting with each other over feed. I'm not going to complain about doing tractor work on a day like today because it's hot and the tractor has air conditioning. I pulled the feeder out of the garage and got it here on the tractor. Pretty good. It actually lifted perfect. I might still put a few more of these in because I've got 2 on the ends and then 2 on each side and then 2 more back down there. I feel like the pigs might destroy that pretty easily, so I'll probably throw like 4 more in. But this is pretty much exactly what I was looking to do. Tonight I've got the feeder stashed up on the forks of the tractor. You can see it down there. Tomorrow we will get it filled and we will get it in the pig enclosure and see how they like it. I'm going to kill this video here today. I will put the measurements for this, or at least some approximate measurements, down in the description. If you have any questions on anything, just leave a comment. But I'm going to call it there because Jackie just got back from Vermont. She's already cleaning and filling the dumpster. And I'm going to help her unpack and hang out with the family tonight a little bit. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day.